Don't ever let a woman tell you what you can do and not do, all right? Be a man, for Christ's sakes.
I'm a man! I'm 40!
Then why is it that you're not allowed on a ladder?
I am allowed on ladders. You're the only one that says that.
Wow, there it is. The new intro music for Turtle Soup. This is JP's Turtle Soup. I'm Casey Lincoln, and I just want to thank you for tuning in, listening, however you want to say it. We're podcasting right now, and it is wonderful. So glad that you're joining us. Now, this music is called the Speaker Stomp Boogie. It's from Technoaxe on YouTube, Teknoaxe. That intro music is really, really good. I like it a lot, and that's going to be the intro we're going to use from now on, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be back. Unfortunately, we do not have Brad with us at the moment. So the thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring in my buddy Josh Haut, and he is Golden One 9140 on Mixlr. How you doing, Josh?
Not too bad. How about you, buddy?
I am great, man. I'm
doing
excited.
This live on Skype.
Live on
Tell
Skype.
you what.
Live on Skype via recording. Live recorded on tape for consumption at a later date.
Yes, for great consumption at a later date.
The
only bad thing about this at present time, that is, the Packers are winning.
Is that true?
That is the saddest thing right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, we're going to get into this later. We're going to talk a little NFL officiating, and
okay.
I'm sure you have an opinion on that, right, Josh?
Oh, very much so.
Well, that's good to hear.
Very, very much so.
That is what we call in the radio business a tease. Listen to me, radio business. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay.
It's pod business, not radio business. Business.
The pod business. There was an official, speaking of officials back in the day, there was an official at one point that started to do his mechanic, telling everyone what the penalty was, and he goes, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. He was giving him to business. And that's a good way to describe it. I'm sure that's what's going on in the pile sometimes down there. You never know.
Oh, man.
So,
who knows what business is going on down there?
Absolutely. Well, the ways I want to tell everyone right off, the ways you can interact with Turtle Soup is, first of all, like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and right now, Snack Club is killing us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Absolutely killing us on those likes. So
you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, look.
I have a very large network, so
right?
I use that to my ability.
Yes, as you should. As you should, and hopefully some of those folks will listen to JP's Turtle Soup now that you're a part of it.
Yes, and I did just post on the Snack Club fan page that I'm doing a guest spot on JP's Turtle Soup, so hopefully they'll check it on out.
That is great. Yeah, I mean, it turns out that I think maybe Brad was thinking of this as more of a hobby, and I'm really looking to do this as something that really becomes a professional podcast in a way. So, I think that just wasn't really his speed. I think he was thinking maybe it was a little too much work to do that every week, and I don't blame him. Because I have a wife that probably thinks I'm doing a little too much work on this too, but God bless her, she's allowing me to do it. So I want to give a big shout out to Andrea because she's definitely helping out.
That's good. And just as we sit right now, there's already been 11 people seeing that I've been a guest spot on Turtle Soup.
Sweet. Come join us. Remember, this is a bouillabaisse of all things Dave and Darren. It's a warm cup of soup. It warms your soul, I doubt it. But I hope it does, either now or at some point down the road. Hopefully you're listening, and we appreciate it. The first episode got cut into two pieces. It was a little long, obviously, and I'll grant you that.
For first shows, I'm not, you can't complain none. I mean, it was good.
Yeah, well, I thank you for that, and the content was good, and that's what I'm focused on, is providing some good content here, and down the road, hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger. But right now, baby steps, as our friend Dave Lavora would say, and I'm really excited about doing this show, and we're gonna continue to do it. It will be a weekly thing from now on. So please like us on Facebook, JP's Turtle Soup. Check us out on Twitter at JPS Turtle Soup. And if you want to email me or us, it's JPS turtlesoup@gmail.com. So there's how to get in touch with us.
Don't forget about YouTube.
Right. Thank you. See, this is why I had you come on with me, because I need someone to wrangle everything and keep me in line. Because if you don't keep me in line, I end up taking credit for everything. I invented the internet, basically.
You did, and podcasting.
And pants, I believe, also.
Yes, I can see that, though.
Do you remember the Snickers commercial from the 2000 presidential election? That's what that's referring to.
I think I remember, but I've done a lot of stuff since then. I've slept quite a few nights since that presidential election, so I'd have to see the replay on it to be confirmative.
We'll post that on JP's Turtle Soup pages everywhere, so you'll see that. So yes, I do have a YouTube channel, and the reason for that is at the end of every JP's Turtle Soup, I play what's called the Bump of the Week. Now on Old Timey Radio, the guys would every morning basically they would have a short clip from the show followed by BC saying the Dave and Darren Podcast, which is what I played for you earlier to start the show, which really is Brad's goodbye. It's his swan song, unfortunately, from the show, unless he wants to come on anytime as a guest, because he was great on the show. He's got a lot of radio experience from his days in radio in Clinton, and I would love to have him on anytime. So the door is not closed to Brad. He's welcome anytime. So I created the YouTube. The Be a Man Ladders clip is on YouTube, and then I will be posting later today the Bump of the Week for this week. So check that out. Subscribe. Josh, I think, was our first subscriber. So,
you're welcome.
Well, thank you. Yes, indeed. The other thing about the first podcast before we move on is the fact that I've created a new drinking game. And that is that I say absolutely a ridiculous number of times. Anytime anybody said something, well, anybody is Brad, because he was the only one there, I would respond with, "Oh, well, absolutely." And that got annoying to me real fast. So I'm going to try to cut down on that. But if it does happen, feel free to take a drink. You don't have to, but feel free. With that, we're going to transition to our segment where we recap what's going on with the turtles out there. And we call it Turtle News. So let's bring in the old Turtle News sound here. Hard-hitting journalism at its finest. Turtle News team was on the scene this week. Let's talk some new sponsors. We've got Premier Jewelry and Loan, I believe, being on Solid, and Harrington's Pub is the new sponsor of the text line. We were talking a little bit before, Josh. Premier Jewelry and Loan, I'd been in there before. I mentioned to them that I was listening to the Dave and Darren show and Solid, and that I appreciated them being a sponsor of Nacho Radio. And I absolutely encourage everybody listening to this podcast, listening to the show, please go to the sponsors. Go to the sponsors, because the guys...
they encourage it. I mean, without the sponsors, the guys would be nowhere.
Yeah, and it helps them a lot to come from a place where they've already been established and there's results. So, the podcast has gotten... they're closing in on 500,000 listens, I do believe. So
I think they're over that by now.
Are they? So
I believe so.
It's amazing how many listens they're getting, but there's still a lot of room for them to grow. And I really want them to be successful because they're top-notch professionals, and they've been doing the show for 10 years, 11 years almost, and they just create a great quality product for us to listen to every day. And the best way we can thank them at this point is to go out and visit the sponsor. So head out to Premier Jewelry and Loan and Harrington's Pub and get a drink, buy some golf clubs is what I did when I was at Premier Jewelry and Loan. They've got a lot of great stuff. They really are top-notch there. So go check Premier out.
They've grown since the last time I was in there. I was in there when they first opened up after Blockbuster closed. I didn't have a good rapport, with me when they first opened, but they also didn't have the inventory that they have now or anything else. So
yeah,
I'm excited for the next time I get into the cities, being that I live in Makokata. The next time I get down to Bettendorf, I'm actually going to pop in and say hi and take a look around and plug Nacho Radio and everything else, just so that they know that, their sponsorship of the show and of Nacho Radio is going a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. And drink. Sorry, everybody.
Oh boy!
Unless that's your thing. Unless the Packers are still winning. Are they still winning?
Oh, they're still winning.
Okay.
19-7.
Oh, this live update has been brought to you by insert name of sponsor here. We don't have any sponsors yet, but
they're sponsorless.
Someday there will be sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, that's part of why I wanted to start Turtle News with some sponsorship and stuff. This week, I talked to Jen from the Shameless Chocoholic, and I had mentioned I wanted to talk to her just because I had seen that on the Mixlr page she was interested in maybe having Brad and I out to do a podcast, a live show. Now, I wanted to touch base with her just to let her know that that may be something that we were interested in the future, because I was at the moment thinking that they were not. She was not being a sponsor of Nacho Radio. Turns out she's going to do some sponsorship now again of Nacho Radio.
Re-up the contract again, which is nice. I mean,
that's great.
Very nice.
Yes, because first of all, talking about great sponsors, that is a great place to go. Before the holidays, I went in and bought a $25 gift certificate for my wife for Christmas. When I first told her that there was a place called the Shameless Chocoholic, she kind of just looked at me with this blank look, like, how did I not know of this before? My whole world has changed. And she
LeClaire has just opened up immensely.
It's crazy. She started this zombie walk towards LeClaire, basically. Like she was going to crush through the wall and just
Chocoholic.
Now, of course, not only women enjoy chocolate, because I was in there and I had a couple of different things, creations of Jen's. They were fantastic. So yeah, she really's got a great shop over there in LeClaire, and I also recommend you go there. But I do want to say that Turtle Soup will not be doing any live podcasts where there's a Nacho Radio sponsor already doing their thing. So first of all, I don't even do live shows yet. I've done one podcast, and now we're planning on doing live shows. You kidding me? Kidding me? Playoffs. I don't have that drop as of yet.
Playoffs.
I do have a number of sports drops though, and we'll probably get to some of those eventually. But for the moment, I'm gonna hang back on the drops, and we're gonna move on to some more turtle news, which has to do with a couple of turtles. And it should really. This is Turtle Soup after all, and the Turtle News team. So. TJ,
toss in the turtles as best as many possible.
I'm sorry?
We got to toss the turtles in as best as possible.
Right. And
into
that's
the soup.
That's their What would turtle soup be without some turtle meat, right, Johnny Paycheck?
Exactly, Johnny Paycheck. Toss in that turtle meat.
So TJ this week. Yes, TJ this week let us know that he thought it'd be great to be a guest on the show. Now, I already have a guest on the show this week, which is Josh. Will that become something different? We'll see. We'll see if maybe it's the Casey and Josh show from now on. But we'll see how that goes. But at first here anyway, TJ wanted to come along, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. He also said that if he would be on the show, he'd kind of have to bring his mother along, which, who knows? Given some of the guests that we've heard on the live shows and on the shows back from the AFM days, that can be pretty entertaining sometimes. Would she be a caliber of, say, an Amazing Larry or Sweet Eileen? Look, I'm not. I don't want to put anyone pressure on anybody to succeed, because those are mighty big shoes to fill.
Very big shoes, especially Sweet Eileen's. As
Yes.
small as her feet are, them are some very big shoes.
We will get into some of that from the live podcast in just a moment, because let's face it, there's a lot to get into with that.
That's almost its own podcast in its own for us.
Yes. Well, when this whole thing started, Dave said, made a joke about there might be a rival, a Dave and Darren Podcast review show, and might feature Donnie the Bicycle Guy, which, by the way, Donnie, if you're out there listening, we miss you. Come back. Because we haven't seen as much of him on the Mixlr chat as I'd like to. So please come back and see us again soon, Donnie. We miss you.
But I can understand why, because being on his bicycle and trying to type on Mixlr is really hard to do.
Yeah, especially for a guy that's so into bicycle safety, you want to make sure that you're being safe. And so
Exactly.
I would not imagine him doing anything that was unsafe. So anyway, anybody that wants to be a guest, I'd definitely consider it. So we'll leave that open for the future. That was sort of a question that was asked to me by Dave this week, whether we'd have guests. And look, my answer is whatever keeps this damn thing going is what we'll do. So the other thing
if it takes the guest, it'll be the guest.
You betcha. So notice how I misstepped that certain word. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to drink. In that case, absolutely. Be my guest. So,
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
so for
Thank you,
those that
Homer.
do, tip back, enjoy. The other thing regarding TJ this week is it turns out him and Brad had a lot in common regarding programming a station. It seemed like it would be a great idea for them to get together and be the third station maybe on Nacho Radio. Who knows? Because they were listing off some great songs and great artists. I'd bring up the Mixlr page, but that would make my brain explode right now with all that I'm trying to do on my computer here at one time.
And which day was that they were bringing all that stuff up? Because being that I started back at work on Monday, I haven't been able to enjoy being a part of any of the daily Mixlr stuff.
Yeah, and that's really part of the that's really part of the podcast that I love, is that we've really it used to be a community in some ways, but right now, between and I'm going to leave somebody out, so I apologize. I'm doing this off the top of my head. But you've got Newfus76 on Mixlr. You've got the Shar, of course, who won our first Zing of the Week award on episode 1. You've got you, of course, Brad, BD Morganism. Thank you.
Joe Mama.
Joe Mama Palm,
Mama
right?
Palm.
Who also wants
TJ's
to...
Poker King.
Right, and, TJ goes without saying. That's why we've got to say it.
And then we got Logan 5, who likes to let his son listen to, his very first ever podcast during probably one of the worst first podcasts ever to listen to.
Oh, I believe that was Newfus.
Oh, was that Newfus?
Yeah, it was
okay.
Newfus, yes. That was pretty funny. That was something like those moments where you have to kind of come up with an answer. I haven't had to go through that. My son is 3.
Well,
So I haven't had to go through that yet, but it's coming. That day is around the corner.
Oh,
Maybe coming wasn't the right way to say that.
around the...
Pardon the pun.
just drizzling off his face. You can see it.
Well, we try to keep this podcast PG-13-ish. So hopefully the censors aren't going to be on our ass now about that. But so anyway, yeah, I'm going to have to get back to you on that, Josh, to let you know what day that was. But they were coming up with some great titles that I usually some of which I would request on Solid and Planet Haut. By the way, which of those stations are you listening to most often?
My most often is Solid by far.
Yeah.
By far. I mean, my CD player doesn't work, and my normal antenna doesn't work when I have my car charger running. So when I'm using my car charger, I plug in my auxiliary cord, and then Solid's playing nonstop. And I had Solid play last night from about 8 o'clock at night until I woke up this morning. So I listened to Solid in my sleep last night. It was great.
For sure. And the other thing is so nice to the request shows are fun. And there was a time where I was really listening to just the podcast, and because that was what I was most interested in. But then I turned on Planet Alt, and it just blew my mind because it really is programmed excellently, or it's programmed to just an amazing level, where I was hearing songs that I'd never heard and I would never hear, partially because we no longer have a station, on terrestrial radio that, will play good music, especially in this market. It just doesn't exist anymore. Not going to name names.
That crappy B100 and oh god.
Right, exactly.
101.3. Oh god.
That bitch.
And by the way,
listen to him.
Right. No, I don't either. And by the way, I will not. I'm in charge of the drops here. I will never play the Screech. You will never get the Hawk on here. He's banned. You banned.
You banned.
So he's out. As the Hawk Harrelson would say, he gone. But yeah, they were coming up with some great titles. But when I was listening to Planet Alt, there's a track that I heard that I just love, and I want to share that with all of you. I'm going to forget the artist's name. The track is Desire by, I think it's Meg, I want to say Allen. I know that's not right. I will post that on the Facebook page as well. A link to that. Meg Myers, that's who it is. Meg Myers, the track is Desire. Check it out. It's a great track. I love it. So, yeah, so listen to Planet Alt and Solid is the main thing there. Birthdays this week. We missed a couple of birthdays. Rock and Roll Grandpa, which was all these problems were rectified, of course. But Turtle Soup and the Snack Club are here for you. Is what I'm saying. We're here to make sure you don't get forgotten or left behind. So if you have a birthday or something and it doesn't
you're
get read,
left out,
you're feeling a little left out,
let us know.
We'll help you out. Because if you send it to Darren, he might not read it at all, or he might read it 5 days too early or too late. Nah, I'm kidding.
If you send it to Dave, he doesn't read emails.
Right, he just,
so,
yeah.
Don't send anything to Dave whatsoever in email form. No,
send everything to Dave. I think that's the best way to do it. Send everything to Dave, so he has to read all of that. No. Yeah, I did learn my lesson, though. I will not send something that I don't want read over the air without this giant disclaimer. Please don't read this on air, Dave. So yeah, Bob Marlowe with M&M Service as well had his birthday this week. Don't know how we missed it, but Facebook clued me into the fact that, oh, wait a minute, it's Bob's birthday. And Bob definitely is on my list of folks to call as soon as the old tax return money comes back. And I would strongly recommend you give him a call as well. So with that, we're going to end this segment of Turtle News. Say goodbye, Turtle News team.
Goodbye, Turtle News team.
All right. And they're off. They're off to go find their hard-hitting next story, which will be, I don't know. They do their own thing. They try to keep me out of it. with that, everybody, we're going to get to the top 5 things that we feel you need to know from this week of podcasts. And we're going to start that off with a revelation, a bombshell, if you will, and not that I created the Internet Pants podcasts and Dave and Darren. Not the show, but them as human beings. That's not the bombshell. The bombshell this week was that a beloved song that existed within the hearts of Quad Cityans turns out to be, it's a fake. It's
a sham.
A sham. It's just crap. Well, I wouldn't go that far, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I want to talk to you, Josh, about how you felt when this revelation started sinking in during Monday's podcast.
It was, for me, disappointing. I mean, granted, I couldn't listen to it live and chime in on my Mixlr chat at all, but when I listened to it later on Monday afternoon, and he started going on about it, I was just heartbroken. Just straight heartbroken. I'm born and raised in the Quad Cities, and I've lived in probably about 15 different markets outside of the Quad Cities in my lifetime, and I've never heard the song elsewhere. And then when he started going on about how there's 100 different markets out there that are using the same song, just different, even here in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
I mean, just as close as Cedar Rapids, they're using it. And it just blew my mind. I was so disappointed.
They were doing this right underneath your nose. And
yes. Right underneath my nose, and I lived in Cedar Rapids for 6 months.
Oh no. Well, see, and I had
of course,
a different...
I guess, I never watched enough TV when I lived in Cedar Rapids either, so...
Yeah, it does kind of depend on... It does kind of depend on when you're waking up and when you're coming into this. But, yeah, I mean, it surprised me to a certain extent. I'm not from the Quad Cities. I'm from Creston, Iowa, southwest Iowa, hometown of Marshall Wallace. I'll give you a nickel if you can tell me who that was, Josh.
Marshall Wallace. Not off the top of my head, though. She's
unfortunately passed away, but she was the voice of Mrs. Krabappel on The Simpsons.
Oh, nice.
She also was the receptionist in the Minneapolis version of the Newhart show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she was always on Match Game.
Oh.
Yeah, well, not always. She was on there a couple times. But she's one of our treasures there from Creston.
That and Trolley Sour Worms.
Yes,
apparently.
Which I really thank you for bringing those as part of Snack Club, if those of you don't know. The Dave and Darren Snack Club is all about bringing a wrapped snack to trade, and it's kind of like a little grab bag. You bring a favorite snack of yours, and you trade it off, and there you go. You got something new to snack on. And I was fortunate enough to get I got the Pop-Tarts box. Now, I may have a bombshell here. Josh, which box was the original box?
The generic s'mores Pop-Tart box was the original, the one that actually has my name tag on it.
Okay.
So now you've got to create a name tag and stick it to that box so we can keep the box going.
Right. Okay. I may have broken that one down. I kept it. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
That bitch.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Look, I understand you're upset, Josh, but calm down. I'll reconstruct it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
But, yeah, I got some
As
trolling...
long as you still have it,
yes,
it can be reused. That's all that matters.
There's nothing more important than having the original Snack Club artifact intact.
Exactly.
Okay. It will be intact, and it will make its next appearance at Snack Club, which as soon as JP's Turtle Soup's news team, the Turtle News team, gets its hands on that information, we'll get it right to you. But anyway, got some Trolley gummy worms. Yes, they are manufactured in my hometown of Creston, Iowa, as well as Bun coffee makers are made there as well. So, little trivia for you. Next time someone says, where the hell is Creston? You say, well, these people came from there, and you can get gummy worms and
Trolley.
Yeah.
Trolley sour worms.
Tasty. Unfortunately, there's no beer, because then I'd go,
Beer.
that contributes.
Or hog plant.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Hog fat.
When it comes to the turtle, the Hello Quad Cities package, I don't necessarily think that I get why people are upset, and even my wife was upset about it when I played it back. She's like, I can't believe that this happened. Like, it happened this way, because she's like, it sucks. I hate it. That really upset her. And it was interesting to me because, like, say when Marshall Wallace passed away, it affected me in some way. So I understand the sentiment. But it was also kind of funny to me because this idea of just because it's not unique to the Quad Cities doesn't, people might think, well, then it's not special or anything.
It is special.
Yeah.
But it's not as unique as we thought it was. That's what makes it so disturbing.
Right. And so we found that out this
week.
So
disappointing.
Yeah. And at least we have now come up with this new phrase, I taste 1,000 yesterdays, that we can joke about.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because it's cut differently per market. It's, obviously, and different words are in place. But when they played back the one for Maine, where it was just like, hello, Maine, hello, and I'm not going to do it because I'd shatter the internet. The internet would be broken, and I'd have to reinvent it. But when she breaks out with this, Maine, I was like, I don't even know what she said, but it sounds hardcore. So, yeah, if anybody knows what I taste 1,000 yesterdays means, contact us on Facebook, contact us on Twitter at JPS Turtle Soup, or email us jpsturtlesoup@gmail.com. So that was kind of a sad thing for a lot of folks, and I understand it. We're here to console you, give you a little hug, have a warm bowl of turtle soup, and sit down and enjoy it. Try to avoid the turtle meat, though, if you're around Johnny Paycheck. So, did you have one that you listened to or heard that you said to yourself, "Wow, okay, that's kind of interesting," or was there a version of it that was kind of silly or funny, or were you just too heartbroken at the time to?
I was seriously heartbroken. I really was. But the Cedar Rapids one, the Hello Iowa. I mean,
right.
Come on, that's not original.
Well,
it's Iowa. Yes, we understand. It's not that original.
When I heard the Milwaukee one, I just wanted to hear her go, "Hello Milwaukee, hello Pewaukee," because or Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, yes, Sheboygan would work.
The names of towns that exist out there. There's some interesting ones.
And to be funny that it originated from Milwaukee apparently.
Right.
And being that we're only 4 hours from Milwaukee, that it made its way down this way, but it's just amazing.
It's an outbreak, and hopefully it can be stopped. I think it's already stopped. I guess we're not using it as much as they used to. So it's done. I guess, but
5 years now.
Well, now that it's done, maybe that hurt will lessen. Only time can tell, really. My favorite was the Utah one. I thought Donnie killed it. Donnie Osmond out there with his giant teeth and everything. I thought they just did a great job. Anyway. So
it's the Osmonds. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah. So number 2 here on our top 5 list for this week was the Hickey Brothers show. And if you missed it, again, don't worry about
podcast number 76.
76. Don't worry about this in order crap. Go there now. But I warn you, put on the Virgin earmuffs because it gets a little racy.
And it becomes a little gory.
It's a little gory.
A little gory. Our nice plug for Sweet Eileen.
There you go. Sweet Eileen. Oh, you're just the best. You're just the best. The Hickey Brothers show was a lot of fun because that place, talking again more about sponsors, is just, it transports you to a different, not only a different place, but a different time. And that was talked about by Mike King, owner of Hickey Brothers Cigar Store and Hookah Lounge. And so just a great time to hear him talk about not only his business and kind of the history of cigars, but then when Ben came on, that was also really interesting to hear about Drew Estate, going down to Nicaragua.
They've only been around since 1998.
Right.
And for them to be around from 1998 and to be the world's number 3 manufacturer of cigars at 95,000 cigars a day, was mind-blowing. And,
it really
that
is.
They use in their acid line, which is a line of cigars that they have. There's not acid in it.
Yeah.
In their acid line, there's 140 different herbs and spices that they use in their cigars, which is just amazing to use that many herbs and spices. And, he said that there's only a small handful of people that actually know what all 140 herbs and spices are. Not anybody else outside of the handful of people know what they are.
Yeah.
Which makes it really, really cool.
Absolutely. It makes it so interesting that, something is, people might go, well, cigar is a cigar, and you pick something up and you go, the amount of care that's taken into to doing something and making it worthwhile, no wonder they're the second largest manufacturer in the world. Third? Oh, third. I thought I heard second. Okay.
They're the third largest.
Yeah.
And, 95,000 hand-rolled cigars a day.
Yeah.
Is what Ben from Drew Estates was saying. That is a lot of hand-rolled cigars every single day.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I had the
really
privilege
crazy.
of, enjoying two of their cigars, and they have one called the KFC, which is not a Kentucky Fried Chicken, but is a Kentucky fire-cured cigar.
Yeah.
And they smoke the tobacco during the curing process, and it gives it such a great flavor that it's undescribable how great the flavor is. But
cool. Being
that I'm a semi-seasoned cigar smoker, I've enjoyed them for the last 15 years, that, I've kind of got a taste for it, where some other people might, that are new, like yourself, Casey, would probably turn green in the gills for smoking something that nice.
Well, I don't want to do that. What's he smoking? What's he smoking there? He's smoking
KFC. He's smoking a KFC.
What's he doing? Champagne cocktail.
Oh, thanks, Frankie. So yeah, the Hickey Brothers show was great. I got to talk a little bit about turtle soup and us coming back and dropping some fun little tidbits. If you heard me on there, I hope you somewhat enjoyed it. But let me just tell you, I was nothing compared to Sweet Eileen. I know that whether it's basically hypnotists that are mob guys, basically beating the crap out of you outside if you don't shut up while they're doing their hypnotism. To whether you're an arsonist of a certain kind. Now, I'm not going to do the play-by-play of that because we all know how gory, it's a gory, those details were. So I'm not going to get into that. This is a PG-13 podcast, again. So, yeah, it was but it was a great time. And I if I was one to smoke a cigar, which I have been in the past, but, I'm kind of getting out of that sort of thing. But I would definitely go down with Ben to Nicaragua and see how that all goes, because
oh god, yeah,
that's really cool. Just the idea of going down there and spending some time like that would be amazing. And I've got a little clip here. This is a drop that's just for this show. I think that's a good deal that Udovich would really get involved with. If you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino, you'll know this one.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
For some reason, the way that when he says, "You take that," I heard that deal you made with the captain. Pretty good deal. You take that deal, Udovich? I'd take that deal. I don't blame you. Damn good deal. So that's a new drop for the JP's Turtle Soup podcast. All right, well, we're starting to wind down, so we're going to do a little bit of lightning round for the 3, 4, and 5 things of the podcast here. Number 3 here is Dave and Darren interviewed for the River Cities Reader. Now, River Cities Reader has been a sponsor of the show on FM before, and of course they've done a lot of talking with Mike Schultz about movies. Great publication. I think it's one of the best print things out there, and just great overall. So,
especially for this area.
Yeah. So it's
being
really
that it's a local print, so it makes it great for just the area.
Right. And so Jeff is doing the interview, and hopefully we'll see that in the River Cities Reader soon. What it made me think of was they were talking a little bit about, well, first of all, Dave was saying, well, we don't get, whenever there's a piece about us in the newspaper, they always get something wrong. And my first thought was, like JP's turtle pants or bow and arrow knife fight at the OK Corral. So I don't really have any sympathy for Dave on that one. But what the whole thing got me thinking of was interviews of Dave and Darren's that we found interesting and fun. And a couple of them in my mind were George Takei, the Takei Off, because when they were talking about doing their Sweet Eileen impressions, all I could think of was that Darren won the George Takei Off, and I just think Dave does it better. I think it sounds more like George Takei, and George Takei was fooled by Darren. I just don't know. I don't know, but he declared him the winner, so I don't know. The other one that I always think of is Dave Coulier. Because they interviewed Dave Coulier, they get to the end, and Dave Coulier goes, "Aren't you going to ask me about, this thing, this Alanis Morissette?" "No, we figured you'd heard that." Well, yeah, I've heard that in every interview ever, and you're the first interview. So, when it came time for a guy like Mark Maron to be on the podcast, he got on, and he was probably already through the junket, and was like, "I'm so angry. I'm Mark Maron. I'm angry about this." And he kind of conducted the interview that way. But Dave and Darren are very good interviewers. Well, they're good interviewers. And they get something interesting every time. Do you have, are there any interviews that kind of stick out to you that you remember?
Not that I can remember offhand. It's been I've slept so many days since the last time they were on FM with an actual good interview.
Right. Well,
so
yeah,
I don't remember.
They also had those interviews. There was some model show, and they got this model on and somebody else along with them, and the model was just dumb, so stupid. And that was a good interview too, because they were just kind of making fun of them while asking the questions, and it was wild, it was wacky. So a couple more things. Country music's all the same. Now this is from a previous week, but we got to go over it at least in the short term here. Look. Thank God there's something like Nacho Radio out there, Planet Alt and Solid, because now we have something that is good music to listen to, being that you've only got country, and a couple of pop stations to listen to in the Quad Cities on the FM dial. So thank goodness that Nacho Radio exists, because otherwise we'd just be hearing the same song. Well, most people are hearing the same song over and over and over.
Over and over and over and over.
Did
I say over again?
You did. Yes, you did. Country
because
music,
it was over.
Right. What's our... Oh, I'm going to be kicking myself. That bit from Airplane. What's our clearance, Clarence? What's our vector, Victor? Roger, over. What?
Who's on first?
That's going on. That's a little before that time, but yeah. So what was weird to me was that you cut the lyrics together and it was all the same. It was crazy. Like the lyrics from one was almost like a rap song, but it all fit together perfectly, and it's not surprising. It's just not surprising. Because country music is pop music now. There's no differentiating before it. And you were mentioning to me earlier, that it really has to do with these music shows, like American Idol.
Very
types.
much so. Yeah, American Idol. There's American Idol. There's The Voice, and then you got America's Got Talent. You put those three together, and you get a pop country song.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
you do.
all you get.
I'm just tired of it. But forget that. We've got the internet, and we've got Nacho Radio, and thank goodness for that. One last thing before we get to the Zings of the week. College and pro football. Now, college, Ohio State is your national champion, and Darren predicted it. I said, when I heard his prediction, I knew it was his prediction and his alone, and he would not go back on it. And he didn't have to because he picked both, which I find is the best way to pick the winner of anything, is to pick both sides.
You're going to pick the winner, pick the winner.
Yeah.
I choose Seattle and Green Bay. Somebody's going to win.
I think, I find that generally that works. With that, let's get into the Zings of the week.
Consider yourself zinged.
The Zing of the day.
What I like to do here at the end of the show is just go over some funny things, not necessarily zings per se. It just has to be something funny from any of the Mixlr users. I am not eligible, neither is Dave or Darren. So we're going to read some of these and elect the winner. And I've already got my pick on my paper here, but I'm going to let Josh also pick after we get done reading them. So, Stoned Farmers first. Hickey Brothers should sell cigars called Yesterdays, and we can all taste 1,000 of them. And I'm sure that if they're made by Drew Estate...
That's mine right there.
Yeah,
Stone
Josh...
Farmer got my Zing of the week right there.
Okay, so Josh loves that one, and he would probably enjoy those for sure. Logan 5 said, at least she didn't get the logo of a defunct radio station on her forehead. And I believe that was in regards to that lady who fell asleep at the party and the people all tattooed stuff on her. Which, how do you fall asleep and have people tattoo on you without getting in trouble or waking up, for goodness sake?
That's how drunk some people get. I've seen it. I've experienced it once or twice myself.
It's the ultimate.
Not really tattooed, but woken up with,
marker
penises on my face and stuff like that. Been all marked up and everything else. So
that's why they call it a dick move, after all.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Mama Palm says, regarding the late start to a Dave and Darren podcast, I didn't see a notice for delay on KWQC, which was kind of funny after everything. Newfa76 with KWQC is a big fat phony. Which anytime you say something Family Guy related, I always smile. So that's why that's on there. Then there was a story about you could send glitter bombs and put glitter all over everyone. And Joe Mama Palm, of course, with "Can we glitter the hawk?" Which why not?
Why not?
I'm not putting my name on it. TJ Poker King on Mixlr, nobody puts Sweet Eileen in the corner, which I like. I thought that's funny too.
After she said the Chinese.
Oh well, yeah, we might have to put her in the corner after that one.
Yeah, after she said that, that's why you said, "Sweet Eileen, go sit in the corner."
Yes. BD Morganism regarding the girl with Cotard syndrome. She thought she was dead. Look, I can't deal with life anymore. I'm going to Google a rare disease and quit real life. Which, I understand. But, still funny.
It made sense.
And designer Lisa is in, with asterisks around it, banging personal gongs. So this is how the ladies are banging gongs for the fellas, I guess.
Wow.
So, you know what? More power to them. Girl power. Way to go. So I've got my pick. Regarding the Zing of the week, what's your vote?
Mine's Stone Farmer.
The
Hickey Brothers. Yeah, he's my Zing of the week.
Okay. Well, looking at mine and looking at yours, they're both regarding the same topic, which is the
KWQC
deal. So I think we're just going to go ahead and bring two members into the Zing of the Week Club, and that's going to be Newfus76 with KWQC's a big fat phony, And Stone Farmer, Hickey Brothers should sell cigars called Yesterdays, and we can all smoke 1,000 of them. So there it is.
The ultimate zing.
All right, Captain, enjoy. All right. Thank you so much, Josh, for filling in and going through all the heartache that is recording the podcast. Because it's been tough, but we've made it, buddy.
Yes, we have.
Well, thank you so much.
I tell you, I look forward to doing more with you if you'll have me. I tell you what, it was great, and
cool.
We'll have to sit down and iron out some issues and maybe go farther yes. than ever before.
If you've listened to this show, I want to thank you so much. If you would please go to Twitter at JPS Turtle Soup, Facebook, like our page, check us out on YouTube, JP's Turtle Soup, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and email us, please, at jpsturtlesoup@gmail.com. With that, everybody, that concludes episode 2 or episode 1. I guess we're going to go with 2. I thank you for listening, and let's see. What should the outro be for Turtle Soup? This is kind of a behind the curtain, I guess, but I hadn't really thought about it. So I tell you what, why don't you, if you have an idea of how we should sign this thing off, maybe like a Turtle Soup catchphrase or something, email me, the email, the Twitter, the Facebook, interact with us some way, let us know. Until next week, we will see you later, Turtles. Love you all, and Speaker Stomp Boogie, play it.
Let's have it. Do it.
Taste 1,000 yesterdays, and I love the magic
the hell does that
ways
mean?
of Indiana.
I taste 1,000 yesterdays, and I love the magic ways.
What is she referring to? I can still taste 1,000 yesterdays in my mouth. What the hell does that mean?
The Dave and Darren Podcast, only on Nacho Radio.